Hello everyone. That was a bit problematic. The first stream was a bit problematic because apparently we could not see the slides, and that is the reason why I am back here streaming. So sorry about that. Don't know if everything is fine now. I think it is, but do let me know in the comment section if you can see the stream and if you're able to hear me as well. So people who know me can text me to let me know if there is any problem. The important thing is that you can see the slides. Okay, so this is a repeat of the other stream, but I will try to do it in a more fun way, maybe make some jokes. I don't know if that will work because it is late and I'll do my best. So here we go. So it's about speaking, as I was telling you earlier. It's the IELTS speaking and music is the topic. But before we actually do the speaking practice, we will go through some expressions which have music as a common theme. So the common theme is music, and there are some idiomatic expressions that if you use can raise your level a lot. So this is why I put together all these expressions, and I hope you will like them, use them, and boast about them with your friends. Say, hey, look, hear what I can say. So let's go without further ado. The first one is change your tune. So to change your tune means to change your idea or opinion about something. So if you're changing your tune, it means that something has happened and you have adapted to the situation. So perhaps in this case, the example was, so it means to change your opinion about something, obviously. And the example, for instance, you could say, after much pressure on the newly implemented immigration policy, the government finally changed their tune. So that means that the government came under pressure and they changed their policy. So you can just simply say change their tune. So you can also use it in, for example, if you're writing an essay or if you're writing a report. You can easily say something like, we need to change our tune in terms of how we approach so-and-so problem. This needs to be done in a different way. We need to change our tune. Okay, the next one is pull out all the stops. It means to do whatever you can do to achieve a certain goal. So for instance, you could say, I've had to pull out all the stops in order to get a high band in the IELTS exam. So you've had to do literally everything to get a high band. That means to pull out all the stops. You can use it in the context of perhaps when the essay, if you're writing an essay, it's about a future project, or when you're talking about your personal experience in the exam, or to anyone really. You're talking about your personal experience. You know, everyone, every single one of us has had to do something in life which was very hard. I can possibly tell you 10 different things that I've had to do which were literally close to impossible. And in some I failed, of course. And I've had to pull out all the stops to get them done. I could just give you one example. I decided to run the London Marathon, and it was all paid for. So I enrolled, I raised the money for the charity event. I had the hotel booked, the flight, everything. Okay, so 3 weeks before the marathon itself, I had an injury. So any normal person would have completely cancelled the event, asked for a refund for flight, for hotel, whatever. Not me. So I went, I took part, and midway through the race, it was so bad. My leg was hurting me so bad that it literally froze. I couldn't move it anymore. But still, regardless, I managed to finish it in a decent time as well. So I had to pull out all the stops to finish the race. So just a little anecdote there. I don't know if you can relate to that. If you've had anything in life that you've had to do where you've had to pull out all the stops, think about that. And if you're asked a question like this, you can use that expression there. So let's go on. Preaching to the choir. You know, choir are the people who work in a church. They sing a song and they do stuff like, you know, songs at Christmas. And if you are preaching to the choir, you're preaching to the wrong people, because they don't need preaching. They pretty much already are in the church. So you're presenting an argument or a point to people who are already agreed with you. So basically, the example would be trying to convince the citizens of the importance of public transportation is like preaching to the choir. It is the local authority we need to be focusing on. So don't convince the people. They know it's important to have good transportation, but it's really important to convince the authorities. So that's preaching to the choir. Like a broken record, it means to repeat something endlessly. Someone repeatedly says the same thing without taking into consideration, you know, whatever you're saying. Educators sound like a broken record when they go on about the importance of testing. They need to understand that some students don't respond to on-the-spot assessment that well. So if you are unhappy with some people saying things again and again, or the government saying things again and again, or you know, whoever, you can say you sound like a broken record. You sound like a broken record. That's what you can say. So guys, if you are so far enjoying the video, please press the like button. It will show up almost immediately, and I'll be happy. I'll make a second joke if you like. There we go. That was just a joke. Music to my ears. So you can hear the music in your ears, right? So I love music, and if something is nice, I say it's music to my ears. So it could be like you are in a situation where you're in trouble, and somebody solves your problem by saying something. You say it's music to my ears. It means something is really pleasing or satisfying. For instance, you could say the new regulations, in lieu of the former, far harsher ones, are music to students' ears. It means the new regulations are better than the older ones, and they are more satisfying to the students. Their students are happier. So in lieu of means in place of. I'm always throwing in there some expressions and some things that you can use to speak better, actually. So, you know, this is C1, C2 level English. But if you are not C1 and C2, it can also improve you. So, you know, never too late to learn, never too early to learn. It's not my forte. It means I'm not good at it. You know, if you're 40 years old, you can say, it's not my 40, although I'm 40, it's not my 40. Yeah. It means that something is not your greatest strength. So if you're not good at something, like somebody asks you, or examiner asks you, are you good at, speaking any other language? You can say, well, I speak French, but it's not my 40. Yeah. Music is not my 40. It has never been. Now here, I'm doing a little bit of a trick here. I'm not repeating music. I'm saying it. Obviously, you know that because you're good, but not if you didn't, that means I'm avoiding repetition. It's very important to avoid repetition. Otherwise, you lose marks and you sound repetitive. Play by the ear. It means to improvise rather than go with a plan. I like to improvise. I like to plan. Both. For example, for my streams, I plan. I don't leave it to chance, because you make a fool out of yourself if you don't know what you're doing. And that's why everything is planned, everything is written out. But if I'm going for a run, I don't like to plan that, because you want to go, you want to play by the ear, you want to go wherever you want to go, so you don't want to root out all the maps. So rather than planning things in advance, I like to play by the ear. That's what I say. Do you like to play by the ear? Do you like to play by the ear when you are having fun, maybe? Yeah. Strike the right note. It means to say or do the right thing for a particular occasion. So it's hard to strike the right note in a job interview while you're trying to sell yourself while being relatable. They're two worlds then. Well, okay, so it means that you need to say the right thing in a particular situation, otherwise you might not get the job, you might not sound right. So strike the right note, like in the piano, you have to hit the right note. That's pretty much the same thing. So you can use that in your speaking, like if they ask you a question about how you get on with your teachers, you can say that I have to strike the right note because they're very, very touchy. No, touchy means oversensitive. That's just to clarify, nothing to do with touching. Touchy means oversensitive. Right, what's next? It isn't over until the fat lady sings, and that means that it's not over until it's over. The fat lady sings at the final act, so you can't say it's over until she sings. Actually, she's a metaphorical fat lady. She might be slim, she might be a man, it might be anybody. But we don't have anything against fat people, it's just an expression, okay? You could say, Earth's oceans have been heavily polluted, but it isn't over until the fat lady sings. So we can still do something, we can still clean up our act, we can still regress or hold back the plastic pollution and think about how much plastic we consume on a daily basis. So there's a lot we can do which can stop the Earth getting totally inhabitable. Next one is the part one. So here are the questions that I was talking about. What type of music do you like to listen to? This question is so common. If the topic is music, you're bound to get this question. So my possible answer could be, it depends on what mood I'm in. Though I listen to a lot of genre, I mostly end up listening to lounge. So the fact that I'm using though, it's good because it's a cohesive device. This is what makes speaking fluid, understandable, and easy to understand. I said that twice, didn't I? It feels so good when you're tired and need a bit of rest. It's just what you need to wind down. To wind down means to relax. Do you like to wind down to music? I like to wind down to music and sometimes also games, like on my phone. But I understand music is a better remedy in this case, isn't it? Close your eyes, listen to music, wind down, drift away into the world of peace. And then come back. Don't stay there. Next one is part one. Is there a kind of music you dislike? Well, I gave an answer like this. Plenty, I suppose. Basically, by saying plenty and not saying music, I'm avoiding repeating the word, which is ellipses, which is good. There are lots I can't stand. Again, I'm avoiding the word music or types of music, which is going to help me avoid repetition. I'm not a huge fan of pop, although I can put up with a few here and there. Garage is not my cup of tea either, nor is indie rock. So I'm saying no to one, no to the other. That's why I'm using nor, which is excellent. It just reduces the amount of words you need to use. It just condenses the sentence, and you sound super slick, cool, fantastic. That's what you sound like. You sound as though you know your stuff. You don't need to use many words to say, a man or a woman doesn't need to use many words unless you want to use many words, in which case you're totally free to use many words, but in the exam, perhaps not a good idea. Next one is there a kind of... Oh, we've done that, haven't we? Okay, yeah. Have you ever been to a concert? Of course I have. I don't live under a rock, That means I don't live in a cave, or I live in a city, so of course. And the other stream I talked about, my experience with the Michael Jackson concert. That's one of the many concerts I've been to, but that one was special. So yes, Michael Jackson's concert, a lot of different Michael Jacksons on the stage. I did not know which one was which and which one was the real one. They all danced brilliant. So that's another thing, when you were a fan of Michael Jackson, you're really into his dancing, his moves. And unfortunately the guy's gone now, but his music lives and his dancing. Yeah, just remember, you say I don't live under a rock, as a joke. You don't want to be saying don't live under a rock and you're all upset. No, it's a joke. I haven't come round to going to one yet. One is a pronoun. It has a function of a pronoun here. It refers to a concert, yeah? So you want to be using one or some when you're talking about something, and as an alternative. That's a fantastic way of improving your English. Just that little word, one, can make a big difference. So if somebody's talking to you about have you been on a great holiday? Have you been on a holiday? I say, no, I haven't been on one yet. I'd like to go on one where I really relax, something like that. Couldn't say that properly. I will when I get a chance. So I didn't say I will go to a concert because I'm avoiding again. Okay. Part 1, does your country have traditional music that you know of? I have no idea, for example, of the country music. America, they have country music, don't they? It's called the country music because it comes from the countryside. So they can talk about that. Italians have, a student of mine told me, have a very special dance, tarantella, that's it. Sounds like the producer who made the Clockwork Orange or something. What was that film called? The film with pretty violent, gruesome, bloody gore film with blood everywhere. And wasn't his name Tarantella? Something like that? Okay, I can't remember. Hello. And then you can talk about films like Goodness Me. It means, I don't know, goodness me, what question? You could have asked me a different question. I haven't a clue. I'm not well informed. Now, I haven't a clue, I'm not well informed can be used in any context. So these are sentences that you need to highlight. On my cultural roots, I live life in the fast lane. It's a metaphorical expression. Lanes are what you have on a highway, on a motorway. You've got slow lane, medium lane, fast lane. So when you live life in a fast lane, it means that you're driving very fast, or you're living very fast. How do you live very fast? You just do a lot of things. I think that's probably what it means. I've got my skates on, which have wheels, and you've got your skates on, you're skating everywhere. So I haven't got time to catch up on folk music, yeah. Folk is like a talk, you don't pronounce the L. So catch up on folk music, meaning obviously nobody catches up on folk music. Who catches up on folk music? Only the people who have got a fetish for folk music. So I don't know. No, it's something I don't know about. So this is part 2. Describe your favorite music group or band. You should say what group or band is it. What type of music they play. How long you've been listening to their songs, and explain why you like this group or band. You know what? I think these questions, they belong to the past. No, we don't have bands anymore, do we? At least I don't. I have no idea who's making the music. I like some songs from Travis Scott and other singers, like hip hop and trap, but I like them like a little bit, then I let go, and then I'm listening to something else. Then maybe I'm listening to even some Italian music. Yeah, cool. Even some Spanish music I like. I like some Cuban music as well, and some. So I don't know the band. So you're in trouble if you start thinking about bands. So you need to get out of that corner and say, okay, well, you know what? I can't say I have one. I suppose I listen to whatever's good. I'm into hip hop and trap, but I'm open-minded and I don't mind a bit of classical once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon means like once in a long time, like very rarely. How often do you get a blue moon? How often do you get a moon? In not often, do you? It's like you live in a city and moon is like never. So the last band we ventured out, that means we went out to see, was called the Bad Boys. It's not a real band. Don't look for it because I don't even know if it exists. I just made up the name because I didn't want to come up with some weird name. No one's heard of them here in this country, but I can assure that they are pretty solid. Despite the tickets costing an arm and a leg. When something costs an arm and a leg, like imagine going to shop and they say, well, how much is it? Well, it's your arm and your leg. So wow, that is pricey. Can I just give you my arm? No, it's an arm and a leg. So you think, ooh, that's expensive. So I'm sure you have something similar in your language as well. So to cost an arm and a leg costs too much, through the roof. I see them again at a drop of a hat. It means I would see them, willingly, very, very quickly. They're that good. Or in a heartbeat, you can say, in very quickly. Same thing. They are more of R&B kind of band, occasionally veering towards rock, oddly enough. So they are R&B, but they veer like a boat or like a car towards rock. Oddly enough means strangely enough. Try to use these adverbs whenever you can to express your own personal opinion during speech. Oddly enough, strangely enough, surprisingly enough, sadly, fortunately. These are all words that if you use every now and then, they reflect the way you feel, and that's important. That's really important. So, next one is their lead singer has a voice which really stands out. It looks different, sounds different. Voice doesn't look anything. It harks back to the times of AC/DC. So harks back mean it reminds you of. Harks back. That's a nice expression. I'm telling you, loads of nice expressions. And even if you used 10 of these, or let's say 10% of these, you would still have made progress. So. You learn language by learning on a daily basis. You never learn 100 expressions in one day and use them for the rest of your life. It's not going to happen. So the more you listen, the better you get, and the more quality you listen to, the better you get. So if you're listening to normal English, then you're going to speak normal English. You're going to listen to high-level English, you're going to get better. So I reckon the main reason I have an inclination towards them is that they are a breath of fresh air. This is a really common expression, but really good one. A breath of fresh air, somebody who's very good, somebody who's different from others. Like you have a bunch of terrible teachers at school or college, and then one comes along, maybe it's me, and you say, wow, he's a breath of fresh air. I'm just joking, but maybe it is me. But maybe it is someone else better than me. Or they have gone back to the traditional ways of making music without the electronic gizmos. Gizmos is things. So there you go. Part 3. Is it important to listen to music with other people? Bit of a weird question. Who sits down together and listens to music? Hey, let's meet up tonight and at your house and let's drink a beer and listen to some music. Probably in the 1960s, but not anymore. I suppose many people believe music to be akin to, meaning it's similar to, a social experience, in that it promotes togetherness and well-being. Now, I'm deliberately putting these words in there because every now and then you need to raise your level when you're expressing a concept. Just look at concerts that people go to, for instance. You hardly see such outpouring of emotions. You let go of your inhibitions like no place. So it's safe to say that music can help sprout those shoots of harmony. So basically what I'm saying is that you when you're together in a concert, people all feel good. They like let themselves go. In this times of COVID, nobody lets themselves go because it's just too dangerous. So, but normally you would, and you would be like jumping up in the air, your sweat everywhere, your breath everywhere, and that's how COVID took hold of us. So, got to be careful these days. But you do let go of inhibitions. You forget who you are. You forget your problems, and you get into that trance kind of mode without any, without making use of any illicit drugs. You just feel good because you're surrounded by people who are feeling good. So it's contagious, and that helps you, grow. And that gives you sprouts mean to grow. Shoots means like little plants of harmony, as a metaphor. Nice one, I think. Yet there are times that music can calm you down when you're at the end of your tether. That means that you're at the end of your, at your very limit. So I suppose it goes both ways. Is there another one? Yes. Why do you think older and younger generations prefer different types of music? Again, a very common question. Much ado about nothing. It means this is a Shakespeare play, Much Ado About Nothing, which is a very good play actually. It means that there's a lot of talk about nothing. That it's not true that there's a generational gap. It is partially true in my opinion, because your grandmother won't listen to the same music as you listening to. But there is a lot in common that you would like. If she listens to the music you're listening to, she might actually like it. She might say, wow, you know what? I'm down. Show me how to dance to this music. You say, no, Grandma, we don't dance. We just listen. What do you mean you don't dance? In my time, we used to dance to this music. You should see, how grandmothers are. This categorization is somewhat false, and taste for music goes across generations. Of course, you have some kinds which are uniquely crafted. That's a nice collocation for the young, and likewise others which are not, but it is not that noticeable. Youth is energetic and craves, desires strongly music which satisfies its emotional needs, while the grown-ups are set in their ways. It means they're like stable, they're not moving, and therefore less likely to listen to the same kind. Even so, there are exceptions to the rule, and therefore I wouldn't bet my house on it. To bet your house on music taste, or to bet your house on something, is like saying, I'm not so sure. I wouldn't bet my house on it. You can say that in any context. Like, if you're waiting for a friend and he's always late, and your other friend says, he's gonna come, you would say, well, I wouldn't bet my house on it because he's done it before. Okay, and that is it. Thanks for watching this stream. And now I would really like you to think about what I've done today, because it took me ages to prepare this file. So don't let it go to waste. I'll leave it in the description. Use some of these expressions in your speaking and your writing, and you will see that you will get better. Okay, let me know how everything is gone, and in the comments hit that like button if you liked the video. And thanks for joining me once again. I shall see you very soon indeed. Goodbye and bye for now. Peace. If I can find the button, there it is.